What's going on, folks? Back again today to talk to you all about the Steam Deck. Now, title of this video says "A Year with the Steam Deck: A Console Gamer's Perspective," and that's ultimately why I'm making this video. Um, Basically, anyone who is already pretty big into PC video gaming probably got one of these. I would not call myself a PC gamer. I think of myself as a gamer, like both video games and like tabletop games. But I have always been a console gamer more than a PC gamer. When me and my brother were like, I don't know, I was probably 8 or 9. My parents got us a PlayStation 1. I think like 2 years later they got us the PS2. Another, few years down the road we got the PlayStation 3. And then when I graduated high school, Dell had this like promotion going on where, excuse me, Dell, the computer company, had this promotion going on where if you ordered one of these particular laptops offline, you would get the laptop and a free 20 gigabyte, 20 gigs, 20 gigabyte Xbox 360 with it. So I got an Xbox 360 and I bought a separate hard drive to upgrade the storage. And then after the Xbox 360, I got a PS4, and then I got an Xbox One, and then I finally went and bit the bullet and bought myself. I spent about $2,000 on a gaming laptop. And then even after that, I got a Nintendo Switch. I've always been a console gamer more than a PC gamer. That being said, though, I would not call myself very well versed in a lot of the games I'm about to mention, but I've played a lot of them in terms of hours of gameplay. I've played a lot. I've played StarCraft. I've played a couple different other RTS games. I've played Rome Total War, Empire Total War, Napoleon Total War, Warcraft 3, World of Warcraft. I've played a number of things on PC. And my problem with PC gaming is this. As a console guy, who is also not the most tech savvy guy, I don't want to have to do a whole lot to make the game run. Coming from the console perspective, my life growing up, it was you put the disc in you turn the console on, you put the disc in the console, you start playing. Boom. Since getting this gaming laptop, there have been instances where the game just malfunctions in weird ways. I've had instances where I install the game and there's no audio. I've had instances where I install the game and there's no audio only when I have the headphones plugged in. Just these little things can go wrong with PC gaming. And I don't like it. I also, PC, like I said, I spent $2,000 on a gaming PC. A PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X costs about $500. And I don't care what anyone says, it's more than good enough. It's a more than good enough machine to play any modern day AAA title. It's perfectly fine. You don't need a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 machine to play video games. You shouldn't anyway. Like, what are you doing? Now, if you're trying to be like a streamer, so you need the performance power to both run the games at all these high settings and stream them at the same time, I get it. But yeah. So that's my background history with video gaming. I've always been a console gamer. So when this was announced, right, it seemed like the perfect thing for me, because another thing I want to add is when the Nintendo Switch came out, I thought this is the future of gaming. It's not let's keep enhancing the graphics and the speed and the performance power. We've gone far enough. All right, like the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, that's far enough. Let's start trying to put that into a more compact, handheld, portable device. And especially with the Switch, where the whole point of it was like seamless between like, oh, you could dock it in the dock and play on a TV, or you could take it out on the go seamlessly. Like that was awesome to me. And I'm like, this is the future of gaming. It's like we don't need better graphics. They're so fucking good. We don't need higher frame rates and all this other shit. It's good enough. Gaming is good enough as it is. Hell, games are so advanced that oftentimes they are released incomplete because they just take so much fucking work to make, right? That they can never seem to get them out complete and flawless by their like deadline. And they end up being released with bugs and problems and flaws. It's like, can we not just hit the pause button and let the hardware catch up with the software? Like, please. Like, holy shit. But they announced this. Now, right off the bat, Valve said this is going to play the entire Steam library, and me and everyone else went, bullshit. And they were right. It does not play the entire Steam library. There's no way it could. But, like I said, I'm making this game for other console gamers out there, people who are prominently console gamers, but they've heard of this and they're interested in it. This is like, whereas I used to say that the Nintendo Switch was like having an Xbox 360 in the palm of your hand. Or let me put it this way. The Nintendo Switch was like having a PlayStation 3 in the palm of your hand. This is like having a PlayStation 3.5. Like, there are some titles, some games from like the PlayStation 4 and even the current PlayStation 5 era, generation, that will run on this. There are others that won't. And then also, there's just a lot of games that should be able to run on this thing, but they don't, and they have problems. Now, ultimately, that comes down to, I think it comes down to the fact that PC games are not meant to run on PC. Whereas, like, you think like a PlayStation 4 game is made for a PlayStation 4. PC games are made for Windows. It's about the operating system. And this does not come with Windows on it. Like, if you have a computer in your home and you've normally been a console gamer, your computer has Windows 11, 10 or 11 on it usually these days. This does not have a Windows as an operating system. It has Valve's proprietary operating system, SteamOS, which is a version of Linux. And yeah, the games weren't built to run on that. Now, there's compatibility software you can download and install to force the game to run and be compatible with it. But like I said, coming from being a console gamer first and foremost, I don't want to have to fiddle fuck around with too much to make the game run. It's not my job to make games work. I'm just the player. I just play. Now, do I like this thing? Yeah, I love it. There's so many games, great games, that are already verified that they will work flawlessly on this thing, that it's more than worth it. I've got a long 11-hour flight coming up in my near future, and I'm going to be very grateful that I have this thing, because I don't think I can download enough Netflix and shit to watch on the plane to keep me going for 11 hours straight. Like, holy hell. I'm going to be very thankful that I've got this. So, like I said, this has been out for over a year, so people should most people know what the deal is with this already. But we'll go through a few things here. So, you can see right here, this is my game library. I'll show you So this is the home screen, and it's laid out like a very console-like. You scroll through your games in your library here. You've got other shit down here and whatnot. But if I go to my library, and I go to all games, which is where we're at here, you'll see here I have this game right here, The Ascent, highlighted, and it has this green check mark. The green check marks mean that this game has been thoroughly tested out by Valve, and it's verified it will run on this thing no matter what. You can see Battlefield 1 here has this little yellow symbol with like a lowercase I in it. That means playable. That means it kind of works. You're going to have to fuck around with some settings and install some shit and whatever, and there might be some issues you run into, but it kind of works. And then you have games like it says here, Company of Heroes, that has this like negative, has this like negative sign. The circle with the line through it. That means unsupported. That means it's not going to work. So, are these labels valid? No. There have been a number of games on here that have the little yellow symbol with the lowercase I, which means that like, it might kind of works, might work, and they've run perfectly. There are other games on here, like, I'm just going to go ahead and mention it, Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 has a green check mark. Baldur's Gate 3 does not run on here. Not by my standards. I'm a console gamer, and if you tell me that this thing is going to run verified, got the green check, that means full send, flawless, works 100%. Doesn't look like shit, doesn't stutter, doesn't lag, doesn't crash, no flaws whatsoever, works perfectly. And it does not. It's too new AAA high performance of a game. Doesn't work. The same thing can be said about, let's see if I can find it. Where is it at in here? God of War from 2016, 17. Also, very high performance, very demanding game. Does not run on here. Not by my standard. Could you play it? Yes. Does it look like shit? Yes. It looks like it looks worse than Nintendo Switch graphics. So like, especially with Baldur's Gate 3. It looks like ass. It either looks like absolute shit or it's very stuttery and laggy, and you have to choose between one of the two. That's not a verified works game. That's not a verified this works game. But they say it is because they know that having the green check mark for their game, companies are starting to learn. Getting this green check mark for the Valve Steam Deck makes it more likely people are going to buy it on Steam. So they want the games to have the green check. So, I don't know, I guess, but let me talk about some games on here that have worked flawlessly. I'll give you some examples. So, The Ascent, I talked about, works flawlessly. No problem whatsoever. Doom Eternal and Doom, from Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, flawless, work like a charm. Divinity Original Sin 2, one of the greatest RPGs ever made, works flawlessly, no problem whatsoever. Fable Anniversary, no problem whatsoever. What else? Kingdoms of Amalur, the Re-Reckoning, the remaster of that game. Not a awesome, great game, but works flawlessly, no problems whatsoever. Lord of the Rings Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War works flawlessly. Warhammer 40,000 Necromunda Hired Gun works flawlessly. Remnant from the Ashes, fantastic game, works on here flawlessly. Resident Evil 2, the remake, works flawlessly. Resident Evil 4, pretty good. It is verified. It has the green check mark. I did have to fuck around and fiddle with the graphics settings quite a bit just to get them right, and that annoyed the fuck out of me. I'm just the player. I'm just a game player. I shouldn't have to make the game work. That's the developer's job. So, but I did manage to get it to work. What else we got on here? The new bolt gun, Warhammer 40,000 bolt gun, that plays flawlessly. Witcher 3 plays flawlessly, and out of every game, that's every game I have that plays flawlessly. I have a total of 58 games in my Steam library, and only the ones I just mentioned run flawlessly on this device. Now, that's more than enough. That's hours and hours and hours of entertainment, and then on top of that, if we go to the store, you can also access the Steam store on this thing. Let's see here. There is a category in here called Great on Deck. It's what I have highlighted in white up here at the top. And these are just all games verified to work. They have the green check. If I go to show more, just keep showing more and more and more. Eventually you get down and starts listing them like this. It just goes on. The list just goes on and on and on. These are all verified. Green check, they will work. Like I said, that's not always a guarantee, but for the most part, in the past, like I say, year and a half that I've had this thing, if it has the green check, 9 times out of 10, it will work no problem. So like I said, coming from a console gaming background mostly, and then getting this thing, I'm really only interested in verified games. Like I said, I have no desire to go fiddle fucking around with settings and trying to and spend all this time trying to make the game work. The game should already work. That's what you, the developers, were paid to make happen, right? And if it's not the developer of the game itself's fault, then it's the developer of the Steam Deck's fault. You didn't design your machine optimally to play the max amount of games. Like, I get it, you wanted to use your own proprietary operating system, and that operating system is what gives it that sort of like console-y kind of interface that I showed at the beginning. So that does help, but it's just like, my point is, I said this before at the beginning of the video, for me, being mostly a console gamer, my experience with gaming is turn the machine on, put the disc in the machine, play. It's quick. It's beep, bop, boop, play. I'm playing. I'm in. Like 60 seconds max. That took me. And it was bad enough as time went on and we got into like the PlayStation 4 generation, and some of these games just had it's like, yeah, turn it on, put the disc in, but the load times were just fucking insane. And now it's like, okay, on top of that now, you get the game, you download it, you install it. Oh, it's got fucking problems. Time to uninstall or look at the settings and fiddle fuck around. No, I just want to go boop, bop, beep, playing. I'm playing. Like 3-step process. Beep, bop, boop. Turn the machine on, put the disc in, play. Although these days you're not really fucking with hard copies of discs because it's usually a digital download. But that's the thing. It's like turn on the machine, select the game, play. That's what I want to do. If I have to do more than that, I'm not fucking interested. So, do I recommend this for console gamers? No. And here's why. Yes and no. I would wait to see what the next generation of consoles brings us. Because what I would like to see, and what I think we will get to eventually, I would like to see, so let's use Sony as an example. All right, we're on the PlayStation 5 right now. And the PlayStation 5 came out in 2020. So 2027, 2028 is when we should see the PlayStation 6, I'm guessing. I would like to see Sony take a page from both Nintendo and now Valve's book. And for the PlayStation 6, instead of giving us this new console to set in our entertainment system and plug into our TV in our house, and it just sits there in this one spot in our home, I would like to see Sony go this route. I would like to see the PlayStation 6 look something like this. That being said, if they were going to do it the smart way, what the PlayStation 6, if they were going to do the PlayStation 6 as something like this, the smart thing to do would be, let's not try to make any advancements to anything. Let's simply try to take as much of what we already fucking have and put it into a smaller package. So if Sony or Microsoft with a new Xbox, but I'm just using Sony as an example, if Sony decided, hey guys, our PlayStation 6, it's going to be like, we're going to do our version of the Switch, right? Except it's going to be more like the Steam Deck in that it can play modern AAA video game titles. But it's going to be made like the Switch in terms that it's meant to have seamless, in the dock connected to the TV, out of the dock, handheld, transition, just seamless back and forth transition. And, it's going to be great. But what we're going to do is we're not going to try and truly make a PlayStation 6, all right? We're not going to try to increase graphical performance. We're not going to try to, more frame rates, higher frame rates, more faster refresh time. We're not going to try to do all that. We're not going to try and up the performance in terms of a PlayStation 6. What we're going to do is we're going to try to get as close as we can to taking a PS5 and putting it into this. Just take the PS5, repackage it as this, and call it the PlayStation 6. That's what I would fucking love to see. And the first company, whether it's Sony or Xbox, to do that will have me as an undying customer. I would love that so much. I would subscribe to PlayStation Plus or Xbox Game Pass, whatever the fuck it is. I would buy all my games off of their store directly, and they could be digitally downloaded onto my PlayStation 6, or what would they call it? I guess they call it like the X-Pad if it was Xbox. That would be my console. Just try to get as close as you can to taking the PlayStation 5 and package it like this. That would be, or the next Xbox. Try to take an Xbox Series X and put it in this shape and form. That's the direction I think they should go. That's my personal opinion. But then again, like I said, I've always been a console gamer. And that's why I say, do I recommend this to other console gamers if you don't already have one? Yes and no. The no being, we're what, at most 4 years away from the next console generation. Wait and see what they do. Who's to say they haven't been working on it? Who's to say that when 2027, 2028 comes around, Sony's not going to break out the PlayStation 6 and it's going to look something like this? Or who's to say Xbox isn't going to break out introducing the X-Pad and it looks something like this? Because if one of those companies makes their version of this, it's going to kick this thing's ass. Because for some reason, it will run everything. It will. Because that's the whole point of the console. The console is, do you not want to have to be a tech-savvy, geeky dork and know how to fiddle fuck with settings? Do you just want to be able to turn the machine on, select your game, and get playing? Console gaming's for you. It's the simplified, easier access way. And that's exactly what it would be, even if they made one of these. So I would wait, if you're a console gamer and you prefer to play on console, I would wait to see what the next generation of consoles holds in store for us. If 2028 rolls around and we still don't have like a PlayStation in this form or an Xbox in this form, then go ahead and consider getting one. But by then we might even have the Steam Deck too. And who knows what the fuck that's going to be. But anyway, that's my little rant, my little take on the Steam Deck after having it for a year and a half and, pretty much mostly being a console gamer in the past. I don't regret buying it, and it definitely comes in handy. I just wish that it played more games without any problems. In my opinion, it does not play enough games flawlessly. That's my opinion. There's a lot of games that I think that hardware-wise, the hardware to software meshing together-wise, it should play no problem, and it doesn't. Like, for example, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. It plays them well in handheld mode, but when I go to dock it and try to Bluetooth my Xbox One controller because I want to sit on my couch. And that's another thing about the Steam Deck I will say too. Real quick, I'm glad I thought about this. Console gamers who are considering one of these things, they do sell docks that you can hook up. So you can set this thing in the dock, hook it up to the dock, and have the dock hooked up to your TV. And you can use this as a console on your TV and be playing on your couch on your TV with a controller. It does exist. It can do it. However, unlike the Switch, this thing was not built with docked play being a big factor. They didn't really give a shit about that. It was more of just like a cherry on top that they threw us. So just be ready for that. Like Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, it plays pretty damn fine when it's in handheld mode, but if I dock it to try and just, because I want to sit on my couch for a little bit, instead of having it in my hand, I just want to sit on the couch with a controller and play it on the TV. Now it doesn't work. Why? Because Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas were made back in the day before they decided to start making PC games with full controller support. So now, if you want to be able to play Fallout 3 on Steam Deck docked to your TV with an Xbox controller, you have to get in there and you have to fiddle fuck around with the controller settings to line everything up just fine. And I'm not going to spend the time doing that. In the amount of time it's going to take me to do that, I could find something better to do. I could find a better game. I could find a different game to play. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go out of my way to make your fucking games work. That was your jobs, game and game console developers. That was your job, not mine. I'm just here to play them. So yeah, that's my rant on that. Let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments down below. If you have any questions about the Steam Deck that I didn't answer, feel free to ask them. I'll do my best to answer them. But like I said, I'm not a tech-savvy guy. I was a console gamer. So yeah. Other than that, if you like the video, please hit the like button. It really helps out the channel. If you want to help out my channel even further, check out some of my other videos and subscribe. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys later.